Ever wondered what really makes a group tick? Or who holds the actual power? Well, today we're going to dive in and map out the invisible social universe that connects all of us using something called social network analysis. Okay, let's start with a question you've probably asked yourself at a party or maybe in a work meeting. When you scan a room full of people, who is really the most important person there? Is it the person everyone seems to know? You know, the one who's at the center of every little huddle, the one with the most direct friends or connections? Or is it maybe the person who acts like a bridge, the one who connects different, totally separate groups of friends? You know, the person who, if they left the party, entire social circles would just kind of drift apart. Or maybe, just maybe, real influence isn't about how many connections you have, but about having connections to other really influential people. It's not just who you know, it's who they know. Well, it turns out these are the exact questions that social network analysis, we'll call it SNA for short, is designed to answer. It's basically a way of mapping that invisible fabric of our connections to finally make sense of our social world. Just think about it, right? Picture a family reunion or an office party. Every single handshake, every inside joke, every conversation, it's all building this super complex web of relationships. We're all part of it, actively creating this intricate social map. And yeah, at first glance, it can look just like this, a beautiful but totally chaotic tangle of lines and dots. But network science is like putting on a special pair of glasses. It gives us the tools to find the hidden order, to see the patterns and the real meaning inside all that complexity. All right, so to really understand this map, we've got to start with the two most basic building blocks. It's actually pretty simple. So in any network, you've really only got two things. You've got nodes, that can be a person, a company, you, me, anything. And you've got edges. The edges are just the lines that connect the nodes, representing the relationship. That's it. It all just boils down to dots and lines. Okay, so once we have our map of nodes and edges, that's when the really fun part starts. We can actually analyze it to figure out which nodes are the most important, or central, using a few different kinds of measurements. First up, we've got something called degree centrality. And honestly, this is pretty much just a popularity contest. It asks, who has the most friends? Who has the most followers? It's a simple count of your direct connections. So take a look at this. The node, smack dab in the middle, it has the highest degree centrality. It's not just sitting in the middle by chance. It's there because it literally has more lines, more edges connecting to it than any other node around. This is influence through sheer volume. But here's the thing, being important isn't always about being the most popular. That's where betweenness centrality comes in. This one's all about finding those crucial connectors, the people who act as a bridge between different parts of the network. They control the flow. Okay, check this out. The node in the center here, it might not have the most connections, but it holds a unique kind of power. Why? Because it's the only link between those two separate groups. If you take that one node away, poof. The network splits in two. That's what you call a gatekeeper. And that brings us to our last one, and this one is kind of the cool, sophisticated one, eigenvector centrality. This one argues that it's not just about how many people you know, it's about who you know. Connections to other important people are worth a whole lot more. The idea here is really pretty simple. Your influence is a reflection of your friend's influence. So being connected to a really popular, well-connected node boosts your own importance. If degree centrality is about how many people you know, eigenvector is all about who you know. But what's really fascinating is that it's not always about being the big central person. Sometimes the most valuable connections are way out on the edges. This is a famous idea called the strength of weak ties. While our close friends, our strong ties, give us trust and support, it's often our acquaintances, our weak ties, who bring us new information, new ideas, and new opportunities. Okay, so that's the theory, but how does this stuff actually play out in the real world? Well, these concepts aren't just for academics. They have a massive impact all over the place. I mean, SNA is used everywhere. Public health officials use it to map how diseases spread to find those super spreaders. Law enforcement uses it to visualize criminal organizations and find the kingpins. And of course, businesses use it to figure out who the real market influencers are. For example, someone analyzed a US ambassador's Twitter account. They found they had a super high betweenness score. What does that mean? It means they were acting as this incredible bridge, connecting all these different political and social groups that normally wouldn't talk to each other. And on top of that, a high eigenvector score showed they were connecting with other major influencers, which basically created this incredibly powerful, unified online community. All right, so when you put this all together, what's the big takeaway? Well, social network analysis gives us this incredibly powerful new way of seeing the world around us. What it really does is it lets us see past all the noise, all the chaos of our day-to-day lives, and it makes the hidden structures of our world visible. We can actually see the patterns of connection and influence that shape everything, both online and off. And remember, this framework doesn't just apply to ambassadors or big shot CEOs. This is happening right now in your workplace, in your friend group, even in your family. So the real question to leave you with is this. Now that you know the rules of the game, who are the real connectors, bridges, and influencers in your world?